You're pretty banged up. Why haven't you installed some bionic limbs? Ambrose taps his temple with one of his only remaining fingers, because I'm already chromed to the gills. Huh. I don't look it, but I've got a full scale. Quad jacks, no soft, radio, skill wire, technical computer, a whole bunch of riggerware. He lifts his dirty t-shirt, revealing a pair of tubes emerging from his side, running down into the wheelchair. Check it out. I've got an artificial liver in my chair. I want to keep my last essence. I've come to like my humanity, and I don't want to turn into one of the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Oh, come on, you know the names, right? The Walking Dead, Toasters, Chromeouts. I don't want to be one of those luck benchers who cyber themselves to within an inch of their lives and stop feeling normal emotions. I don't know if that makes any sense. Why would your body parts affect your emotions? I don't think they would. Anyway, that's how the story goes. Well, there are worse things than feeling nothing. Truth. I'm close to the line, though. I don't want to feel nothing, at least, not yet. Alright. Ambrose scratches himself ostentatiously with a robotic arm. Listen, I like talking about my chrome more than the next guy, but not right now. Besides, it's kind of a personal subject. You looking for something today? You're a Hong Kong Shadowrunner. I was. He looks down at the remnant of his body, scarred and dismembered. I sure don't look much like one now. Ambrose yawns and stretches, straining his leg stump and scarred arm in opposite directions. Man, that feels good. So there's a particular way this kind of conversation goes. I don't know if you're familiar with it. We show each other our butt tattoos? No, but I suspect that involves delicacy. I don't say shit, you don't say shit. Etiquette, security, I presume we share useful intelligence, wash of incriminating data. Shadowrunner, yeah, we orbit around each other for a while, then tacitly agree to speak in only the vaguest of terms. We show each other our butt tattoos? Ambrose snickers. Where the hell did kindly dig you up? Wait, don't answer that. Listen, I'm circumspect about my past, and you're a new active runner, so I don't want to know any of your story. It's only a liability to me. Ambrose props himself up painfully and leans forward a little. His living eye has an intelligent gleam to it, so let's make this conversation useful. I'll cut the BS and give you some down low on Hong Kong. From an expert runner perspective, in return you don't go dig for my jobs list. Deal? Deal. Rock solid. Hong Kong is a good lily pad for a derby crasher like yourself, SCKC. The shadows are deep, the money flows, it's friendly to foreigners. And there's no real government. The whole place is run by corporations and syndicates. However, as fresh meat off the boat, you've got to decide who you want to be. Foreign runners follow 3 career paths in Hong Kong. They assimilate, they burn their bridges and get out fast, or they die. If you're a short timer, you can be as violent and splashy as you want, but a Waldo arm swings over his shoulder and points emphatically at you with his claw. If you're in for the long haul, learn the local arts, discretion, restraint, respect. Get that long-term face and don't embarrass people. Get that long-term face and don't embarrass people. Alright, so he basically says build a reputation. Build a good reputation. The Hong Kong shadows grind through expendable runners who are loaded up with bad face and then dumped in Victoria Harbour. So whatever you do, watch your back. So Kainie's keeping us around for untouchable work. Interesting. What else you got? Anything I can do to mitigate the risk? Yeah, most likely. You're not just deniable, you're disposable, and she can hire that out. So, this isn't Seattle, decide who you want to be. Ambrose shrugs, a lopsided gesture, with the stump of his missing arm bound in scar tissue. The other thing to remember is that Hong Kong is a really complex place. It's one of the great global cities, with enclaves of every major megacorp. It's a syndicate town, it's a refugee magnet, and it's Guangdong. At some level, anything goes here, but Ambrose takes a deep breath and continues in a tone of low appreciation. When in doubt, assume that old Hong Kong tradition rules. I say that as a loudmouthed bastard. Be polite, be modest, honor favors, maintain faith, give respect, and always treat people's time as valuable. You seem pretty into this, Ambrose. Hong Kong fascinates me. I used to hate it here, now I love it. Ambrose takes a deep breath and sighs contentedly. I found a nice little piece. If you survive, maybe you can too, and you sure do seem like a survivor. People know who I am, but only in the network. Kindly runs this neighborhood like a separate country. You paddle a boat across the canal and no one's ever heard of me. And never will. Ambrose suddenly stops himself as if he realizes what he's saying. He finishes lamely. Anyway, it's private. You're not a wanted man, are you, Ambrose? We speak the same language, Ambrose. Understood. Sounds like something went sideways back in those runner days that you don't want to talk about. Yeah, we're not gonna push it. Anyway, understood. Good. Well, that's my wisdom. Ambrose breaks into a chuckle. Wait, what am I saying? My wisdom is you can never be too low profile, too lawyered up, or too well armed. Alright, goodbye, Ambrose. Time for me to go. Cheers, SCKC. Talk to you later. I don't know what, like, what does that add to the game? I'm not sure. I mean, he's telling you to fit in and play nice with people, stay on people's good side, or at least not get on people's bad side. Do I really want to go back in here? I don't really want to go back in here. I don't... it's just for the sake of completeness. Frederick Ka Fai stands stolidly by the club door, his arms folded across an impossibly large chest. He eyes those entering and leaving the club like a god might look down from Olympus, and smiles while doing so. Hey SKZ, been hearing more about you. Yeah, what did you hear? Oh, this and that. Probably all misinformation or slander, you tell me. I heard you might have killed some guy, or maybe a couple dozen guys, maybe even that you're a terrorist. Not sure that one fits, but you do look like a heavy hitter. I'm a lover and a fighter. Club 88 caters to both. And you're in the right company with me. You know why they call me the untouchable? Never taken so much as a scratch. Of course, my snot brother says it's because people are afraid to hurt me, else they might lose face with our parents. As if that would ever stop some of these punks, am I right? Not a scratch. He pulls up his taut t-shirt, revealing a thick layer of form-fitting body armor below it. Of course, things that get stopped by this stuff don't count as scratches. How much do you bench press, Frederick? I don't bench press, I do dumbbell presses. They're more functional. The bench press artificially stabilizes things too much. But to answer your question, when I do bench, I max out around 700 kilograms. He grins confidently. That's double the current world bench press record for unmodified humans, by the way. 700 kilograms! Handled some tough customers, have you? It's what I do. Think about it. Inside, my brother sells the kind of things that would make a Buddhist monk turn psychotic. And then in back, my ma is selling enough firepower to blow the roof 6 times over. In other words, we sell petrol and matches, and yours truly is the firefighter. But this firefighter ain't never been burned. Not even once. Pretty impressive, right? You just let me know if you're needing some additional muscle. You can call on Mr. Untouchable to get the job done. Or can I really? Can I get you on a run? Tell me more about your family. You might think I'm impressive, and sure, my brother Cullum and my ma both work hard to keep this place afloat. But people don't realize things about my bar. He's not just some old sailor. You want to know the secret? He was a pirate, one of the very best. Over 20 years at sea, and he was never caught, untouchable, just like me. You ask him about it and he'll deny it. I'm sure he's made some enemies over the years. Gotta play it smart. Keep his past a secret. But I figured it out a long time ago. He's a great man, my bar. That's why I gotta be strong to live up to his example. Alright, I'll leave you be. Who is this? Illuminati Elabrad. The most immediately noticeable thing about this orc is his immaculately maintained red mohawk, and the beer he is busily nursing. He fixes you with a mischievous grin as you approach, touching 2 fingers to his brow in salute. Hey there, chief, what's cracking? Not a whole lot, I'm Mr. KC. Nice to meet you, Illuminati Elabrad, freelance shaman. He wiggles his eyebrows and gives you an exaggeratedly conspiratorial wink. Your kind of freelance, if you know what I mean. The Shadowrunner type. Alright, how do you know I'm a Shadowrunner? Are you kidding me? Everybody around here knows about you. I guess they don't get a lot of foreigners who move in and immediately start cozying up to the local yellow lotus straw sandal. The rest of us have to show up here and hope somebody needs a hired gun. What kind of shaman are you, Kill? The kind with a shotgun and a penchant for bad luck? He lets out a roaring laugh and slaps a hand against his leg. I killed myself. Seriously though. Coyote guides me. What's Coyote like? He's happy-go-lucky, willing to take life as it comes. You gotta ride the waves, and the universe will take care of you, you know? Can't fight what's fated to be, but you can bend the rules if you're smart. Coyote likes shamans that are like that. Like me. Like most shamans, I felt his call when I was a teenager. I've been running with the local gang, trying to scrape together enough money not to starve. One day we were having a dust-up with the Black Hammers, and I just felt this force. They welled up in me. And the next thing I knew, that knives just bounced off my skin. Things being what they are, I decided making some real money was in order. I ditched the gang and started hiring myself out to whoever offered the most New Year. It's all I've ever done, but I'm good at it. You're not likely to find any better, in fact. Your accent sounds North American. Sure is. Born and raised in Federal Way, Seattle Metroplex. Not as bad as the Redmond Barrens, but still a total hellhole. Kinda miss the big grey Northwest, but I guess being swamped by monsoons here in the Free Enterprise Zone is pretty similar. Less acid in the rain though. Why'd you leave? Things were getting pretty heavy for me. There was a big blow up with the Universal Brotherhood and a lot of bad magic going on. I decided it'd be better to lay low out here until things calm down. I think I might be here longer than I expected though. Cash isn't coming as fast as I like. What do you think of Hioi? Frankly, I hate it. The walled city gives me the creeps, big time. Something is seriously wrong with that place, and I don't mean it in that it's a slum kind of way. Watch your step if you have to go in there. What kind of wrong is it, then? There's something off with the walled city's aura. Something in the astro is just sick there, but I can't tell what. It's like all that misery and pain is just building on itself. Every misery empowers all the other miseries there. I'd say you couldn't pay me to go in there, but you probably could. I'm a sucker for a payday. Alright, talk to you later, Killimanti. Keep safe, okay? You know where to find me. I mean, okay, how does that help me though? Callum? The elder of the two Ka Fai sounds is once again lost in his cups. He watches bleary-eyed as patrons pass him by. Something in his expression makes it seem that he resents each one simply for being. You again. Decided to make this whole home, have you? Yet ever so humble. Humility has no place around here. Sit down if you like, I could tell you tales. Alright, tell me a story. You ever hear the one about the Phantom Sailor? They say he was once a good man, provided for his family, loved his wife and children. He spent many lonely days out on the sea, working hard to make their lives better. But the ocean takes its toll. Every time he returned, he came back with a little less of himself. Until one day, the thing that came home was just a shell, the mindless body of the old seafarer, with his soul still lost at sea. The mind and body call to each other, and one day the sailor will walk down the beach and step into the waves, letting the ocean swallow him whole. True story. What? What's that? Okay, true story. Tell me about this family of yours. What's to tell? My brother is a meathead and my parents don't even know or care who I am. That's not true. They say they care for family first, but to them family isn't four people under a roof, it's some abstract concept. It's the name that matters to them, the Ka Fai name, that's family. My mother only cares about the business. Any hint that I want to look for a better opportunity is met with lectures. And as for Ba, well, he's never been the same since his life went into dry dock. First chance I get, I'll leave it all behind, mark my words. Alright, I mean... Didn't you say you didn't go to school? Leave you be. Henry Ka Fai putters about in the back of the club like a great hulking ghost. Despite his size, he goes largely unnoticed by the club's clientele. It is as if they all have a blind spot in which he is happy to reside. Why do you insist on chatting like this? Am I bothering you? I can leave. No, it's just unusual. Most people leave me be. They don't know me, maybe except by name. They certainly don't know what I do here, so they have no cause to speak with me. Shadowrunners work hard to lead that kind of life. So you say, of course, a Shadowrunner seeks such a life on purpose. I haven't. But I've gotten used to being the forgotten one in this place. Ermine and Callum are the faces of our business. Freddy is the face of our law, so to speak. I'm no good unless I'm out on the water. Got any good stories for your days at sea? Stories? An old sailor always has stories. In my early years working the fishing boats, I swear it seemed like every day we caught something in our net stranger than the day before. Sometimes it was cargo, either lost or thrown overboard by panicking smugglers. Sometimes it was bits of ships wrecked by those super typhoons they say the geomancers cause. We'd haul up the occasional body, figure some of them were refugees either from the mainland after the Civil War, or the Philippines after that whole mess. Human trafficking, pirates, lots of bodies in the water. But more and more we'd pull up bizarre sea creatures, not sure if they were mutants or some kind of awakened critters. The small ones we always threw back as soon as we caught them. If you don't know what something is, best to assume it sprays acid or lays eggs in your brain. The big ones, he shakes his head in disbelief. A lot of times we had to cut loose the net. Nets cost a fortune, but when the whole boat shudders and you see 3-meter spines or tentacles, or something break the surface, you know it's not worth saving the net. 3-meter spines! Those were good times though, simpler times. It got a lot more complicated as I got older, and as the seas got ever more fished out. It's even more complicated now that I'm stuck on dry land. Guess the skills of a sailor don't really translate to club ownership. No, they don't. I want to be a good provider, but I just don't know how to contribute anymore. I think about my own father. He was a fisherman, long before me. For 40 years he went out early in the morning and returned late at night. He put food on the table in a very literal sense. He did that without complaint every week until the day he died. That's providing. That's being a good husband and father, as far as I'm concerned. My father wouldn't have lasted a day in this life of mine. The world's just moved on from what he knew and what I knew. I miss those simpler times.